So back to Manor Farm Leisure. Quick drink. Make sure you stay hydrated. It's going to be an absolute scorcher. I forgot my sun cream. What an idiot. So I'm going to start short. Hopefully catch a couple of decent fish if I'm really lucky. That didn't happen. And then I'm going to feed to my left 40.5 metres towards the rope near the aerator. Now this is a really good peg. For those who don't know, this is peg 25 on middle pool. There is 15 of us fishing, I think. Not sure exactly how it's going to fish, to be honest, but plenty of fish moving around, fish blowing and stuff, so I'd like to think it's going to fish pretty well, which it did, to be honest. So all out sort of pellet attack, so pellet shallow and then pace short, pace long if they start blowing on it. A lot of carp in this lake, so it won't take very many fish to do a weight, and a lot of F1s as well, a few skimmers, but you ain't going to win nothing catching skimmers. So normal drill, 020 main line, 0.2 gram Maver pace float, and 018 hook length, size 12 hook, real simple. Seafood paste mix, which is Hinders. So didn't see the point of you watching me catch nothing short, so I've gone in long, and you could tell they were there because they were blowing. So just pinging pellets over the top. Try and feed when your float's not in the water, everyone fishing paste. Been mindful, Ben's opposite me, Ben Suter on peg 6 is catching well now. He mugged a couple to begin with, and then he's fishing against the rope. Got Catherine next to me on 27. Bit frustrating, just at the pool. Just check and make sure everything's alright. Make sure the float ain't moved or none of the line's damaged. So just make sure to keep an eye on everyone else, not just being nosy, just making sure that, not just going through the motions. And obviously if you need to up your game or up your feeding or change your approach, so just be mindful. Got a few people mugging, got Neil Smith catching a few shallow, tap in, and then we got Ben, I'm pretty sure was fishing casters. He started to catch, he had a few mugging to begin with. My mate Derek, well, we won't talk about Derek. But the lake's not fishing great at the moment. So I'm happy just plodding along on this pace. So I'm, at the moment I would say probably maybe second or third in the match, but definitely in my section. And the way they do the payout, they pay first place and then pay 4 sections by default. So at the moment I should be happy with what I'm doing, but me being me, like a lot of anglers, want to try and win. So I put my coat on, not because it's cold or raining, just to keep the sun off me. Been ginger and all that. So catching steady-ish, fishing pace. I've started another line to my right, and I'm thinking I need to transfer the line on my left by the rope. It's got a few fish banging into it, so I feel like I'm going to need to change my approach to fish shallow, which in retrospect was a real bad decision to make, to be honest. Fish was still blowing, and I felt like I wanted to build it up before trying to slay him, but at the same time I felt that was going to hinder my sort of pace line, which it did. So I wish I just plodded along now and just carried on fishing pace, and I think I probably would have ended up with maybe 130 to 150, which would have been enough to win the section. But hey, got greedy, changed my approach, and obviously it didn't work. Also, catching down the edge was a little bit unproductive as well. I did have two, but my battery ran out, so I wouldn't show it, and you wouldn't be able to see it anyway because it's too overgrown, like the vegetation. But there's some big fish. I had two fish for probably about £25, so worth catching, but you had to sit there and wait a long time for them to come in. So shallow wasn't great. I've tried snapping, tapping, over-shotted rigs, monging, jigger. In retrospect, watching it back as well, obviously I feel like I've just maybe not been patient enough. Troubles with like me shallow fishing, I think, oh well, slap it over 3 times, get a bite or a fish will hook itself, happy days, you know. And it's sometimes obviously not like that. You've got to work it a lot more and change depths and move around and maybe varying your feeding pattern and stuff. Trouble is, where I've now fished shallow, fed a bit of bait, I don't know, I just feel like I've sort of like maybe messed this up a little bit now. So then I've sort of changed my approach, gone back on the pace again over where I've been fishing shallow. Obviously it is hot, I've had to take my coat off. I should have brought more fluid as well. I brought 1.5 litres of water. Wish I brought 3. Been feeding a waggler line with 8 mils. Prepared to chuck a waggler or lead over the top if it does all go a bit piton. No one else is doing it neither, so I felt that I sort of had it to myself. I mean, Scott Rhodes next to me has caught a few fish on the waggler and stuff, but not enough to set the world alight. However, he has come on his pole and he is catching really well, and Tony Brooks next to him on 21's catching pretty well as well. So this is now putting a bit more pressure. So beginning of the match, I'd say I was doing pretty well, as I said earlier in the video, but now things are beginning to not go my way, and you know what it's like. You start sort of chasing your tail, start changing your approach, doing a bit of this, bit of that, and it's obviously just not good enough. Getting frustrated as well, missing a few bites. Good thing about middle is there's not a lot of like little fish, to be honest. You don't tend to get bitted out or plagued by, you know, microscopic skimmers or anything like that. So normally when you get a bite on paste and stuff, it's normally going to be off a proper fish. Not always, but most of the time, you know, if you do fish paste this way, then normally when you get a bite, it's going to be either a stocky or a proper fish, as in proper F1 or carp.
So, did have a tiny bit of a run of fish. Things didn't really go according to plan. I should have been more patient, and my experience should have let me know that, sometimes you just got to accept that you're not going to win, and sometimes you just got to accept that you're going to maybe come second or third. So I definitely threw the section away. So well done to Tony and Scott Rhodes. That's unreal that they've had the same weight, £114. Well done Neil Smith, he won the section with 92. Ben Suter destroyed the match, so fair play to him with £221 and 10 ounce. Chris Newton was second, so he won a section with 126. So it fished alright, to be fair, with the volume of the anglers and the heat. I think most people had a half day's decent fishing. Anyway, take care. I'll see you soon.